No questions? Okay. So what are the different OOPS concepts? So we have seen class and object. And now we're going to see what is encapsulation, inheritance, abstraction, polymorphs. These are all called OOPS concepts. So what are the OOPS concepts? Encapsulation, inheritance, abstraction, polymorphism. So there are two types of objects will be there. So one is object-based programming languages and object-oriented programming languages are there. So object-oriented programming language comes under Java, Python, C++. These are all object-oriented programming languages. Object-based means you have JavaScript, VB-script, these things will come. But what is the difference? Main difference is, so object-based programming language that doesn't support all the OOPS principles. But object-oriented supports all the OOPS principles. So object-based programming language doesn't support inheritance concept, whereas object-oriented programming language supports all the OOPS concepts, including inheritance also. Okay, so that's the main difference between object-oriented and object-based programming languages. So these are the differences between that and this one. The only difference is it doesn't support inheritance, object-based programming language. Object-oriented supports all the OOPS, including inheritance also. So the advantage of OOPS is, so basically you have OOPS makes development and maintenance easier, and OOPS provides data hiding, and so OOPS avoids duplicate code, and OOPS the functionality to the end users and hides the internal logic. Like you are using ATM center. So you can see that all this basically you're just giving a functionality to you. Go and use it. But you don't know what logic behind that. See, even if you're a phone call, do you know the logic what they have written? We don't know, right? But you are enjoying the functionality, calling friends and sending the messages, all this. Functionality we are enjoying. That you can achieve with these OOPS concepts. Even you can hide the data. You don't want to show the data to the other people. You can do that with OOPS concepts. So these are all done by OOPS principles. So the first concept is encapsulation. What is encapsulation? So encapsulation is nothing but the process of binding the data and code together as a single unit is called encapsulation. What is the encapsulation definition? So binding the data and code as a single unit is called encapsulation. Binding data and code as a single unit. So data means you can use instance variables, right, to store. And code means your methods, instance methods you can declare. So where you can find this code and data? Where you can find code and data? Where you will write them? Where you will write the data and code? Just now we did already.
The main method.
Main method. So where are you, sir? Did you write a data and code in the main method? Where you have written, sir, data? Data, where you store it?
Variables, data is like assigning value, right?
So where is the methods? Did you write them in the main method?
No, when you said data, I was thinking about the values, It's no variables we declared.
Main also one method, sir. Main is a one method. So that's it. Just for execution purpose, you will use that.
Yeah.
So this is all you declare with the methods. But where you are finding all these methods and this
in
data?
The class, yeah.
In the class. It's all in a single unit you are keeping them. You are binding them in the single unit that is called class. So inside the class, you are binding them together in a single unit. So that's a class is one example for encapsulation. So now you can say this is the one encapsulated class. Yes, an encapsulated class, because there is a data and there is a method. Both are combined together in the single unit, that is class. So each class is an encapsulated class, but there are some rules. If you want to create an encapsulated class, there are some rules. So that rules we have to follow. Now we didn't follow here any rules here. In this, we didn't follow any rules, but there are some rules in the encapsulation. Let's see what are the rules. How you can achieve this encapsulation. So basically, main purpose of encapsulation is to secure your data. More security purpose, this encapsulation concept will be used. Suppose you don't want to show data to any other people, your sensitive data, then you follow the encapsulation concept. So all your banking details strictly followed by this encapsulation concept. That's why your bank data I cannot see, my bank data you cannot see. Only the owner can see that. So what is the reason that behind that? Because of this encapsulation. Applied there in the bank software, they applied this encapsulation concept. That's why nobody can see others' data. So how you can, sir, how it is possible with if you encapsulation if you do? Basically, you will declare all your variables. You will declare all your variables as a private. So that if you declare private, can you see the data? So in other class, can you see in other class?
No.
No, right? It's not visible in the other classes, right? If you make the variables as a private. Not only variables, anything if you make private, nothing is visible. So, and you have to make in the encapsulation class all your variables private variables. And methods, you have to make them public. So you will create a setter and getter methods. Setter methods are used for setting the data. Getter methods are used to get the data in other places. Even you can set the data in other classes also. Sir, variables are private, but how can you set? These variables you will use in the methods. A setter method inside you will use and assign the value for that. So you'll make a parameterized method. All setter methods are parameterized methods. Those parameterized methods, you can, whatever the value you are giving for the method, that will go and set to that variable. Even same class or in other class also you can set, and you can get those set values with the getter methods. Because why methods are public? You can access, you can set your variable values from anywhere by making them public. Public means you can access everywhere, right? So that's why, so your methods in the encapsulated class must be public. And public setter and getter methods you have to create. Setter methods are, your setter method always a void method and parameterized method. And also, so your setter method starts with a set keyword, then the variable name. So what is the setter method name? How you will write the setter method name? It starts with a set keyword, then the variable name. That's your setter method name. And parameter, you will write same parameter as an instance variable. And getter methods are return type methods. They will return the value. So your getter method starts with a get keyword and the variable name. But it's a return type method, not a void method. It's a return type method. Setter methods are void type. Getter methods are type return type. So this is the setters and getters you will create in the class. So why do you need them? To increase the security. You will make the data more secure and you will make the variables as a private. So then if you don't declare, what will happen? People can see the data by others also. Your data can be seen by others also. Then that's not secure, right? So to give the more security to your data, we are using encapsulation concept. So same thing they will ask in the interview also, where you have used encapsulation OOPS concept in your automation. This is the kind of questions they will interrelate Java where you have used it in the automation. So that I'll show you in the framework time. I'll tell you all these things. But first you should understand this concept. If you know the concept, then you can easily answer there. If you don't know the concept, you cannot answer there. Right? So that's what this encapsulation is a very, very important concept. See, another thing, let me show you. So I'll show you this program, and if encapsulation is not followed, what is the problem? If encapsulation follows, what is the problem? How you can solve the problems. So advantages of encapsulation is you can make a class read only or write only. So read only class, we should provide only getter methods. If you want to make the read only that class, you can use only getter methods. But you want to make the class as a write only also, then you provide the setter methods also. Or you can provide both the setters and getters. So you can, another advantage is you can control over the data. Who is the owner? That owner can control the data. That's a main advantage. You can restrict. So you can write the logic in the setter methods, and you can tell, okay, this kind of data coming, you can set this data. So other people cannot set their own data. You can restrict. So that control will be there with this encapsulation concept. So data hiding. Other classes cannot access private members of a class directly. If you make private the variables, other classes cannot see that variables at all. So it is secure, right? If you don't make private, then they can call your variables also, and they can give their own data, and it will create a problems. So that's why you can control and you can hide the data, everything with the encapsulation concept. See, the real examples is capsule, capsule, right? Medical capsule. So the one, so layer inside you have medicines. So that is a single unit inside the different medicines will be there. So same like, a pen, right? A pen, you think about pen. So pen also, it is hiding by some other material. So a lot of examples you can follow all this, like a school bag. So one of the most real example of encapsulation, school bag can keep our books and pens, right? So the bag is one layer, outer layer. Inside that you have members. And so the first one real time example is when you log into your Gmail or Yahoo or anything. So it is going to internally process. So login process. When you enter the password, all this, internally it will take encrypted, and then it will give a process access to your account. If you don't give a correct password, it will give access to you. So same way, and banking applications, all the banking softwares. So what they will do, and they will make their bank account name, account number, account holder name, balance, everything private, so that nobody can see your data by others. And when you when you go to ATM center or anywhere, so the card they will give, the card is having all your data. So that is when you insert the card, it will read all your data and it will show only your data to you, not for others. So that is all possible with this encapsulation only. So they are making all the public methods. Public methods means what? Cash withdrawal, balance checking, all you can see in the ATM screen, right? Those are all methods in the ATM software. In the screen, it is appearing for you. These are all methods. So those methods you can use here. So you can use outside also. But data, it will be appear for you only, not for others. So that's this real-time examples for this encapsulation. So how you can achieve encapsulation, how to implement that? So declaring all the instance variables of the class as a private, so that it cannot be accessed directly by anyone from outside the class. So provide the public setter and getter methods in the class to set the values of the variables, and through getter methods, you can access those values even outside also, because those are public methods, right? Even you can access outside the methods also. So the variables you are using inside the methods. Private variables means you can use in the same class, right? But not outside the. But methods are public, so you can use in outside also. So that's the main reason this encapsulation will give more security purpose. People will use this encapsulation concept. So let me show you, if you don't follow the encapsulation, what will happen. So quickly, here we have an entire code. I'll just copy paste this and I'll show you. If you don't follow the encapsulation problem, okay, encapsulation concept, then what will happen? So that I want to show you quickly. So this is the create an album class. So see here, we are making all the variables as a public. So I'll just create an album class. So quickly create an album class so that you will understand if there is no encapsulation process, what is the problem? So realize that. So we'll realize. So I'll show you that realization. So as this copy paste this. Okay. So this is all public. See, album class has a public variables, all public instance variables, and some public methods. Okay, these are the public methods. So I'm going to create one more stockkeeper class, because the stockkeeper who maintains the. So all these albums he will maintain. So, and I'm creating another new class which is having stockkeeper, and main method I'm taking to just call these objects. So the stockkeeper has a name again, and a constructor we are using, and we're creating some method. So this is the method I'm creating, manage album method. So manage album method, this is very important. You should understand that. This method you need to understand. I'll show you that. See. So this is the instance variable, right? This is the instance variable. Will you all agree with me? So I made a public instance variable, stockkeeper name I am setting with the instance variable, and this is the parameterized constructor. How can you say constructor? The class name, the constructor name is same.
Same.
It's a constructor. Constructor part is coming in the tomorrow's class. Class name and constructor name is same. So this is the parameterized constructor. I'm setting this instance variable value with this. This keyword I will explain. Don't worry. This dot name equal to name, and at the same time, see that. So another method I am creating. So this is a public void manage album. One method is this, because this guy is managing the album, right? So that first parameter. So this is a class, right? And this is the album object I'll use. Album. Okay, album is I'll use. Otherwise you will confuse. So album is I'm just setting all the values. Okay. So here also album is So just see that, okay? So just understand here. See, sir, why this is what is the parameter syntax? How can you declare the parameter? Parameter syntax, what is the parameter syntax? What is the parameter syntax? How you can declare parameter?
Data type and parameter.
Data type, parameter name. So data type, parameter name. So is this a data type or not? Album is a data type. Why album is a data type, sir? Album is a class, right?
Class.
Class is one data type, right?
Yeah.
What data type of class? What data type it is? This is what kind of data type? What are the two different type of data types?
Primitive, non-primitive.
Non-primitive.
Primitive, non-primitive. So class is a non-primitive. So it doesn't matter either primitive or non-primitive. So data type is a class and the variable name, object reference. Data type and the name. So album name, album artist, album price, and number of copies. So these are my parameters. These many parameters are there for this method. This is the parameterized method. Now I'm setting. See, I'm calling this album object dot. See, I'm calling the album class instance variable. How I am calling album class instance variable? This instance variable I'm calling here. This instance variable I'm calling in this stockkeeper class. Why I am able to call there? Because this is a public. So this has a public. Public means you can access anywhere. So that's why I'm calling here. So I'm calling here object reference variable dot non-static variable, and I am assigning this parameter value for this album name. I'm setting when I call this method, I'll give this name. So that giving a name. And again, album object dot artist. So equal to this parameter name I'm giving. This parameter name I'm assigning to. Okay, assignment operator means you should know what the assignment operator will do. What the assignment operator will do?
Copy the right side value into left side.
The right side value will be copied to this left side variable. So what is this left side variable? This is which variable? This one. Album object dot artist means which variable? Which class variable is this?
Album class.
Huh? Which class variable is this? Name and this artist, all this, the left side ones. These are all which class variables?
Album class.
Huh?
Album.
Album class.
Album class, sir. Album class variables, right? Where are you? This is the reference variable of what data type? Album type. Album class variables, these are all. Now, whatever the value you are putting on the right side, it is going and assigning to album class variables. Album class variables, it is going and storing. In that memory address, these values, whatever the values you are giving here, this will go and store in this album object memory. And number of copies, right? And I'm printing that. I'm printing that. So this dot name means this means it's a reference variable refer to current class instance variables and instance methods. Basically, this will refer the current class objects. Simple. This will refer the current class. Tomorrow I'll explain the more in detail about this keyword. As of now, this wherever you are using this will represent the current class instance variables and current class instance methods. Current class instance variable means now we are in the stockkeeper class. So stockkeeper class instance variable means name. So that's why I'm calling this dot name. Our name is there in the album class also. How you can differentiate album class name and stockkeeper class name? So using this keyword, this dot name, if you use current class instance variable, it will refer. So I'm using album object dot name. So that the album object is representing the album class name. But this dot name, if I use, I'm representing with the current class name instance variable. This keyword can be applied only for instance variables and instance methods only, not for any other things. So album object dot name. Yeah, here again I'm calling all the album class properties. But what is the disadvantage here is, let me quickly give. So create object to call this method. Create object for stockkeeper class. So this stockkeeper class, you create object. So you create object for stockkeeper. But this is a parameterized constructor, right? So it has a parameterized constructor. How to give the parameter name? So I'm just giving the parameter name. So John D is the parameter. Now I'm calling st obj dot main is album. So I have to give all the values. So what is the obj new album? So this is the I'm going to give the album name. So album name, I'll just copy from here. So all these values. See that? So, see, can you observe here the price and number of copies you are giving a negative values? See, is it possible that the price will be a negative value and the number of copies will be a negative values? Really, is that possible?
Ideal world now.
It's not possible, right? Can you mute somebody's?
That's Juber.
Okay. So, is it really possible the negative price will be there for any album? Negative quantity will be there in the no? Stockkeeper cannot maintain negative albums, right? But there is no control, and he is giving his own data. But where you can control that? So the control is not there now. See, that's why it is printing a negative data, whatever the data you are giving, that data it is printing as well. But this is not a valid. How you can control this? That is, you have to apply the encapsulation. So here now encapsulation is not there in this. That's why there is no control. So whatever people are calling and they are giving their own data. So because album class variables are calling outside the class also. There is no control. That's why they are giving their own data. So we have to give a control. That is, I'll show you. This is the problem. I'm just giving a problem now. What is the problem? People are giving their own data. They're calling that other class variables and they're giving their own data. There is no control at all. So that control, if you want to give, so you have to apply the encapsulation. So that I'll show you tomorrow how to apply the encapsulation. Then we'll go for the next topic. So please read and come back and you have to explain and write and send it to me this